Welcome to Moe's!
Tired of the same old catering? Moe's spices up any event. From the fresh ingredients to the free chips and salsa, we deliver everything. Let us bring the party to you. Order Moe's Catering today for your next event.
This is Brandon Mitchell with Recruit 757 here at Menchville High School with Menchville head coach Ray Savage. Now, coach, when it comes to winning at Menchville, winning isn't quite synonymous, or hasn't been over the last, I'd say 5, 6, 7 years.
Right.
Speak of the disposition of your team before the 2-game winning streak and after your 2-game winning streak.
Well, of course they're more confident, but I mean, more than anything, when we went back and showed the mistakes, the 6, 7 plays that cost us game 1 and 2, they realized that we could play with some of the other teams. And this group just responded much better than groups in the past. Once we showed them the mistakes and showed them where we could have had big plays and where the game was won and lost, they responded. And once they won the Denby game, they kind of felt that now, believe it or not, the coaches know what they're talking about. These are high school kids, so they don't believe it until it happens.
Now, after the 3-game losing streak, it's kind of easy to fall into a sunken place. How does winning not start at Darling Stadium or Todd Stadium? How does it start right here on the practice field and behind the doors at Menchville?
After the 2-game losing streak.
2-game losing streak.
Yeah. Hey, look, I count them all. I tell you what, I was frustrated. I'll tell you, I went home and, man, I contemplated, hey, is it me? Maybe they need someone else to lead. And that's how upset I was, because going into the season, I was quietly confident that this was the year we could turn it around. So I had to pick myself up. I had to grow up a little bit and kind of talk to the guys as men and say, listen, I'm disappointed in me. What can I do different to change the practice schedule? Do I need to save your legs? What can I do? I know we can win. Help me help you. And after we had that conversation, they said, no, coach, you're doing the right things. We need to play better. We need to be in better shape. We need to run a little bit more. And I tell you what, they embraced the conditioning and the longer practices. And from that point on, I think we felt confident going in that we could play with anybody else.
Now, what's been the biggest challenge in making this season a little more productive than your first 2?
Tell you, Coach, we only have about 50 or 55 kids, so we have probably 10 kids that go up and down between JV and varsity. I think we have 26 varsity non-guys who go up and down and 27 JV. So, it's a smaller team. We practice together, and with the numbers being small, when you lose a guy, it really, really hurts. We're down a couple guys now, one from a suspension, one for academics. So, the depth is not there, but you know what? I still think these guys play hard enough that I can insert some young guys who've been getting reps, and we still can be all right.
Gotcha. Now, over the summer, if I told you that come week 6, Menchville would be in the conversation for a possible playoff position, what would you have told me back in the summer?
I'd have told you it's year 3 and this is what needs to happen. The problem is, I thought it all along. I need to get them thinking that way. But I'm going to switch gears on you because I don't even want to talk about playoffs. We got those mighty Greyhounds this week, man. And I tell you what, all I'm thinking about is going into Portsmouth and shocking the world against the Greyhounds. Nobody gives us a chance. They probably scheduled us because they thought it was an easy W. But there's no easy dubs against DeVille. So we're going to go in here and see if we can shock the world. And if that happens, then we'll start looking forward a little bit and seeing what happens in the future.
Now, the Greyhounds have some talented prospects in Alan Boykins, Kassan Dixon, Jacoby Smith. We can go on and on. What's the game plan? What's the mindset in getting ready for a team like Norcom?
With all those athletes, we just have to keep the ball in front of us. They have game breakers. They're not a pounded kind of team. They kind of just hit you with big plays. They score off turnovers big time, and they play a lot of man coverage because they trust their athletes to do things. So we have to be methodical. We need to play Peninsula District football. We need to wear them down. We need to show them how we play on this side of the world. And I think it's a little bit different than what they're accustomed to.
Now, with this 2-game winning streak, how do you keep your men from being complacent? How do you keep them from getting above themselves?
I run them till they can't run anymore. We just practice hard. We kind of downplay the wins. We don't show the tape after Saturday. We move on to the next week. We don't talk about what happened in previous weeks, and we talk about how great the next opponent is.
And the community reception around Menchville right now?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great. But you know what? I think it can be much better. I told them once we win, the reception is going to be great. But I expect more. I want more. I want the playoffs. I want a playoff victory. You know what? All of that comes after this week. But yeah, I expect more, and I expect us to keep getting better.